Community College District Governing Board meeting of February 18th, 2026. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please do roll call.
President Cargo Reed.
Here.
VP Nguyen. Trustee Honeychurch. Trustee Kara. Trustee Thurston. Trustee Young.
Present.
Trustee Voice.
Here.
Student Trustee Rodriguez.
Approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll second the motion.
It was moved by Trustee Thurston and seconded by Trustee Emery to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? The motion is passed. Any comments from the public? All right, there are no comments from members of the public. We are now going to go into closed session at 6:34 p.m. and we will reconvene at 7 p.m. Thank you. Good evening. Reconvenience of our regular meeting. We will convene at 7:02 p.m. There was no action taken in closed session. Comments from members of the public? No, there are no comments from members of the public. We're going to move on to reports. Associate students of Solano College. Dr. Ballesteros. Sorry, please correct me. How do you pronounce your name? Ballesteros? Hello, welcome.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh,
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Hello again. So I'm here to report on behalf of the Associated Students of Solano Community College. So just a few updates. The ASSE just wrapped up the town hall with Supervisor Wanda Williams last week. Sorry, I'm losing count of my days. I think it was last week. It was a highly attended event. A few of the topics that were talked about were housing, transportation, immigration, financial aid, and healthcare. Wanda Williams' team brought a lot of great community partners and different resources for the students. They were able to share their wisdom, the resources, and how to access, different healthcare or mental health resources within Solano County, which was great. We're currently in the planning stages for another town hall with Assemblywoman Lori Wilson's team. That will be in April. It's not fully finalized yet, but once it is, I will, of course, send that to Dr. Butler to share with you all. We'd love to have you attend, or if you want to join us that day. Additionally, the students will be attending General Assembly in March, which is hosted by the Student Senate of California Community Colleges. It's a conference in San Francisco. It's a great opportunity for them for leadership or professional development, as well as learning more about student government policies and procedures and how they can bring that back to Solano. And last, they are assisting the TEDx Solano Women event, which is quickly approaching on March 13th. We have a variety of amazing speakers coming to talk about their own journey of being leaders in different fields, such as tech, education, and how their own stories of leading without permission, which is the overall theme. If you would like to attend, I believe I sent an email out. We still can reserve you a seat. So just let Dr. Butler know and we will add you to our VIP list and have special seating for you. And there'll be a small reception after. And then just a few updates within the Office of Student Development and Engagement. We are in the midst of Black History Month. Tomorrow we have our Black Business Leaders pop-up event. So we'll have different vendors here on campus selling goods for the students and some little bites for students to try too. We have the movie night coming up as well. And then I'm so sorry. I think like 2 more events. And then our Women's Month calendar will be released this Friday. So we're quite busy. And then also our cultural/affinity graduations will be finalized by Friday. And I, of course, will send that invitation to you all if you'd love to attend. We will be hosting the Latin graduation, Black grad, Queer Commencement, and Anapi graduation. So you're all invited. And of course, I will share that information as it develops. But thank you. Any questions?
any questions? Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And we're going on next to Academic Senate President Josh Scott.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I think I'm on mic, right? Outside. There we go. Okay. So we actually have quite a few wonderful things happening right now. We just, actually our last Senate meeting, you'll be hearing more about this tonight, but we talked some about the accreditation report. We're really grateful for Isabel Anderson back here, who's really doing our writing, as well as David and so many other people involved in this charge. So we'll be exploring that more in the upcoming weeks as we move closer to the next visit. In our next meeting, we're going to be having the Academic Support Center, the ASC, formerly DSP, Disability Support Programs, coming and visiting the Academic Senate. This will be this Monday to hear, so we can learn more about how we can support our students, as well as how we can make sure we're really collaborating to bring resources and support to the center as well. On March 9th, we're going to be visiting the Vallejo campus. So every year we visit the Vallejo campus for one Senate meeting and then the Vacaville campus for another. Vacaville campus will be a month later in April. But on March 9th, we're coming into Vallejo. And this will be a chance for us to hear from students, from teachers, to see what the good work is in Vallejo, how we can support it. Just learn more about what's happening there. We also, as you know, we have 13 at least full-time hires in the works. We have now faculty on all those hiring committees. Several of those, they're coming out in these three, Sal's not here today, but these three tranches or groups of hires. And so, some of those are well on their way. Otherwise, I finally wanted to just share some news we just found out this evening. Sheila Smith is an adjunct instructor of child development here at Solano College. She's also the coordinator of our T4E program, a poet, and she just she won the Hayward Award. So the Academic Senate for the California Community College System statewide is a very prestigious award, really honoring all the work she's done. So just wanted to give that shout out there. So that's really good news. But and she also was part of the planning for the Roots, Rhythm, and Rhyme Black Creative Expression last night, which was great. Lots of really great performances, including from our own students, and very good food. So yeah, it was great. And that concludes my update.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Could you tell me what time you're going to Vallejo?
Yeah, it's the meeting starts at 3 p.m. On the Vallejo campus. It lasts for 2 hours.
All right. Thank you very much.
Trustee Kumar.
Times faculty have been
That's
hired?
correct. Yeah, we're on 13 full-time.
Not hired. In the process.
We're in the process, right? So they're going to start in the fall, and yeah, we're already starting interviews, and that goes through a sequence of first there's a hiring committee of usually about 5 faculty, dean, students. We're trying to make sure are on these hiring committees. And then once they identify usually 2 or 3 finalist candidates, those are forwarded to Dr. Butler, who has a chance to interview those candidates, and then forwards her choice to you, and you all make it official.
Okay, I don't know if this is politically incorrect, but I'm going to ask it. How culturally diverse are these 13?
Well, we haven't hired them yet, so right now they're just an idea.
Okay. But just keep that in mind.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you so much. I appreciate your update. And we're going to move on to College Governance Council Superintendent President, Dr. Kelly Sims Butler.
Thank you. For the college governance, we met twice, January 28th and February 11th. Across the 2 meetings, we've reviewed an update to the Administrative Procedure 6115 for distance education. It also includes guidance on regular and substantive interaction, which is included in our accreditation report. We reviewed the 2027 and through 2028 academic calendar, which will come back for a vote, and we also explored the possibility of updating language to the mission and vision of the college. While there was a lot of conversation around it and some enthusiasm to modernize the language, we decided not to make any changes because the statement still aligns with our current goals and strategic direction. For the superintendent updates, I have a few items that we've been busy doing. As was already mentioned, we are in the midst of preparing to hire several new faculty. And so we're really excited about that process. We are also diligently working on the accreditation report, which you will hear about a little bit later. In addition to those activities happening on campus, last month, Trustee Cargo Reed, Wynn, and Kara and I attended the Community College League of California's Effective Trustee Conference, which I believe was mentioned a little bit last week when Trustee Kara shared the book Other People's Children. And a lot of that meeting was about current issues in the California community colleges, from the governor's January budget or proposed budget, changes to the Brown Act in SB 707, and just a lot of dynamic issues that are happening in the California community colleges. Also, mentioned already, but I wanted to highlight, the college kicked off Black History Month with a bang on February 1st. Trustee Young was in attendance, as well as community representatives from Solano County Delta Sigma Theta sorority and the National Council of Negro Women. Our very own counselor, Erica Black, led that activity. It was a really fun time to come together, and also had good food. We also hosted Roots, Rhythms, and Rhymes last evening, celebrating Black creative expression, and heard it was a very festive event. With drums and orators, and so we had lots of activities, students and community members. Also, we had the student development and associated students who hosted the town hall with Supervisor Wanda Williams. Trustee Voice was in attendance at this event. I just wanted to highlight this again as well, because at the event, I really appreciated Supervisor Williams' initiatives to kind of bring together county supports for students. So not only were we able to highlight the college's supports, but also an extension of the supports that exist in the county. And students were able to ask questions, particularly Health and Human Services in Solano County talked about how students shouldn't count themselves out, but really investigate what they actually qualify for. So I thought that was really helpful to give students some empowerment to investigate resources and support. The Child Care Center here on campus, their faculty and staff hosted the Solano County Child Care Planning Council Community Forum at the Vallejo Center. They had a robust attendance at this event, including several elected officials, Senator Chris Cabalden's office, Assemblywoman Lori Wilson's office, Supervisor James, Councilmember Alexander Matias, Alma Hernandez of Sassoon City, and also the NorCal Family Child Care Alliance, Solano Family and Children's Services, and Solano County Office of Education. And lastly, I believe you also received an invitation to the Campus Safety Symposium. That event was hosted on campus. It was an event basically drawing experts from across the state to share best practices in threat assessment, emergency response, and mental health care during emergency responses. And our Chief Travis was the keynote for that event. That concludes my update.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions? Okay. All right. Now we're moving on to the consent agenda action items. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted by the board in one motion. There will be no discussion on these matters prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or the public request specific items to be discussed and or removed. Time will be provided before the vote for clarification, questions without removing an item from the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second the motion.
It was moved by Vice President Jackie Nguyen and seconded by Trustee Emery to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? The consent agenda was passed. Non-consent agenda items. Now we're on to the non-consent agenda items. Human Resources Director, Mr. Director Abate is not here, so VP Williams will present these items. Thank you, VP Williams.
Thank you, President Cargo-Reed. Members of the board, we have Dean Jessica Kromicki here tonight to read a statement on the retirement of Alan Jan in the math department.
Welcome.
Is it on now? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm here to talk to you about Professor Dr. Alan Jin. He's worked full-time as chemistry instructor at Solano Community College since August 17, 1998. His dedication to SCC has spanned over 28 years in the mathematics department. His peers reported Alan shows all students respect and kindness. He shows his students what needs to be done so that they can be successful. Peers also observed the lecture was well prepared and well paced, with time for students to ask questions while covering the topics in detail. And also that Alan is enthusiastic about mathematics as a whole and multivariate calculus in particular, everyone's favorite subject. He has participated in hiring committees, curriculum review, program review, textbook review, adoption, peer review, evaluation, and student advising. He's also held membership with the American Mathematical Society and Mathematical Association of America. Students reported, "I have never taken stats before, and this class made it easy to understand and easy to complete assignments." They also commented, "Professor is very thorough and excellent at helping students understand the materials." And then there is the honest, "Teacher is perfect. The subject itself is just difficult." Thank you to Dr. Jin for your commitment and service to SEC and our students. He will be missed, and we wish him strong success in his next adventure. Congratulations to a long and vibrant career at Solano Community College.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, you're not here. Well, congratulations. Do we have a motion to approve the retirement?
I make a motion to approve 13A of the retirement of Dr. Alan Jan. And I wish I had him when I was in college taking stats.
It was moved by Vice President Jackie and seconded by Trustee Thurston to approve the resignation to retire. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, aye, oppose, abstain. The motion was passed. Congratulations on your retirement. Yes. (13B) Men's Basketball Program Coordinator.
Thank you, President Cargo Reed, members of the board. I'd like to take the liberty of presenting the next two items. These are the professional coaching model job descriptions for two other sports. You've already approved a few of these in the past, including tennis and softball. Tonight, we're looking at men's and women's basketball, as those longtime coaches have retired, and this would allow us to go out for full-time hires to take over these two important sports. As you remember, the creation of this job is to allow us to get coaches and pay them a competitive rate, and also provide opportunities for assistant coaches as well. So we're asking your approval for these two new job descriptions.
All right. Do I have a?
I'll make the motion to approve item 13B and C.
Thank you. All right, it was moved by Trustee Quinton and seconded by Trustee Emery to approve both 13B and 13C. And the motion, do we have do we have a discussion on these items? No?
I have one question,
Okay.
if I may.
Yes.
VP Williams,
Yes.
if I may ask this question. Is there a height requirement for these positions?
No, you're welcome to apply if you would like.
Awesome.
There's not.
Fantastic.
Very good.
Thank
Very
you.
good. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose, abstain, the motion is passed. Thank you very much. And Finance and Administration, VP Wheat will present these items.
Yes, thank you. Item 13D is a change order for our sand volleyball court project. This is a no-cost change order. This is just a time extension, and we're asking that you approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve item 13D.
I'll second the motion.
All right, well, it was moved by Trustee Quentin Boyce and seconded by two trustees, Emery and Trustee Thurston, to approve the change order. All right, is there any discussion on this? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Oppose, abstain, the motion was passed. 13E.
13E is a contract award for Vandenbot, I think it's supposed to be, Vanden Bose Electric, there we go, for our Building 1800 electrical upgrade project. This is to add additional power for our makerspace and robotics programs, which will include 2 new transformers and 2 new panels. This will also replace 15 existing electrical distribution panels throughout the building. While you may look at it and see this bid was way lower than the other bids that were brought in, there was a post-bid opening conference with this vendor to make sure that they completely understood the scope, that everything that was in their bid, and that they understood the scheduling as well. And they did, and they are ready to proceed upon your approval, which is what we asked for.
And do I have a motion to approve?
I'll second that.
All right, it was moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on these items? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? The motion was passed. Moving on to
13F. This is a resolution for amendment number 1 on our pre-qualification project for our hydronic loop system. We're asking the board to approve this amendment. You might remember we did the pre-qualification resolution before. There was one question on there that we would like to have it changed because as we stand, none of the proposals actually meet those qualifications. And this one that we're asking to change is we asked them for examples where they were able to do everything in a single project, and they couldn't do it in a single project and show us examples that they did it in a single project. But if we change the question in the pre-qualification where show us examples of you being able to do this in multiple projects that we can put together, then they would qualify. So we're asking for the amendment so that we can change that one pre-qualification area to allow them to make more of a portfolio than just a single item.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve?
This is a resolution.
Oh,
So.
all right, roll call, please.
Well,
Well, motion first and then
I'll
roll
second the
call.
motion, yeah. I'll also make the motion. That sounds like a fair request. It's not often that we have, there's not that many other hydraulic loop opportunities for them to do the
As
entire.
big as we are,
Yeah, we have a unique system, so that makes sense. So thank you for being thoughtful and how we do this. I'll make that motion.
Yes, thank you.
I'll second.
Second motion.
I'll second.
It was moved and seconded. Is there any discussion before we go to roll call? No. All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Young. Trustee Voice.
Aye.
President Cargo Reed.
Aye.
Trustee Thurston. VP Nguyen.
Aye.
Trustee Honeychurch. Trustee Kara.
Aye.
All right, the resolution was passed. Thank you. Student Services, VP Neely will present these items. Hello.
Thank you, President Cargo Reed and members of the board. Good evening. This is a resolution allowing the college to formally recognize the 2026 Lunar New Year, so we're asking for approval.
I'm sorry, Ms. Neely, Dean Neely, Vice President Neely, I have not understood anything you said.
Am I not on?
You were using your indoor voice.
Oh, okay, well, let's change that. Good evening, President Cargo Reed and members of the board. We are asking for approval to recognize formally, the college recognizing formally the start of 2026 Lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for 13G.
I'll second the motion.
All right, it was moved by VP Jackie and seconded by Trustee Emery to approve the resolution for Lunar New Year resolution. And is there any discussion, Vice President?
Oh, thank you so much there, President Cargo Reed. VP Neely, thank you so much for bringing these resolutions forward to the board. While they're just symbolic, but they do have a lot of meaning for our community as well as for faculty, students, and those who call Solano Community College home. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate it, being the fact that, the Lunar New Year Dead Festival is very important for me here, despite the fact that I've been here in the United States since I was 2 years old, actually 3 years old in 1975. May I ask you to do the honor, because you have a beautiful voice, to please read the resolution for us?
Thank you. It would be my honor, and I will speak up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Whereas February 17th, 2026 is the start of the Lunar New Year, which is celebrated in many Asian communities internationally, including in the United States and California. Whereas it has been celebrated in California since 1858, when early Asian settlers shared their vibrant cultures with local communities. Whereas California is home to nearly 6 million Asian and Pacific Islander Americans of Bangladeshi, Cambodian, Chinese, Filipino, Hmong, Indian, Indonesian, Yumien, Japanese, Korean, Laotian, Malaysian, Pakistani, Sri Lankan, Taiwanese, and Vietnamese descent. Whereas Asian and Pacific Islander Americans comprise nearly 16% of the state's population and have greatly contributed to the social, cultural, civic, economic, and academic success of California. Whereas Lunar New Year is predominantly celebrated by the 2.5 million Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, and Yumien residents of California. Whereas Solano Community College serves a diverse student body representing over 20% of Asian American and Pacific Islander students. These students, along with our Asian American and Pacific Islander staff, faculty, and administrators, contribute immeasurably to the academic excellence, cultural richness, and inclusive environment of our institution. Whereas Lunar New Year traditions include celebrations with family, handing out red envelopes, which are symbols of good luck and prosperity, and ending on the 15th day of the lunar year with the celebration of the Lantern Festival. Whereas 2026 Lunar Year is the year of the fire horse, symbolizing a dynamic, fast-paced era of bold action, independence, innovation, and transformation. Whereas the diverse Lunar New Year celebrations take place in communities throughout California, highlighting the state's rich Asian and Pacific Islanders' cultural and religious history. Whereas student leaders through the college's Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, ANAPI Student Achievement Program have created and led vibrant campus-wide Lunar New Year celebrations that educate, that inform, and honor our diverse ANAPI communities, establishing what promises to be a cherished annual tradition at Solano Community College. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Solano Community College District Governing Board does hereby adopt this resolution to recognize February 17, 2026 as the beginning of the Lunar New Year and extends best wishes for a peaceful and prosperous Lunar New Year to all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I turned my microphone off. There we go. Thank you so much, VP Neely, for reading the resolution. All right, roll call, please.
Thank you. Trustee Boyce?
Aye.
Trustee Honeychurch? Aye. Trustee Kara?
Aye.
Trustee Thurston? President Cargo Reed?
Aye.
VP Nguyen?
Aye.
Trustee Young?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Motion is passed, or resolution is passed. And 14A information items, academic affairs, VP Williams will present our accreditation report.
Thank you, President Cargo Reed, members of the board. I'm presenting this tonight as the accreditation liaison officer as the college, not as the vice president of academic affairs. As you know, on a recent accreditation visit in 2024, we did receive 2 compliance recommendations from the commission, and this provided us an opportunity in a college-wide effort to improve 2 of our processes around student learning outcomes and service area outcomes on the administrative side, as well as improving regular and substantive interaction in our online courses. You have in your packets tonight a draft of our follow-up report. You'll notice that this is significantly slimmer than the institutional self-evaluation report. We were tasked simply with answering those 2 recommendations. And in the report, our writer, Isabel Anderson, who's here tonight, I'm going to invite her to come up and stand at the podium. So if you have any questions for her, you can ask her as well. And I might turn it to her in just a second to add a few words. But in this follow-up report, we lay out the process for responding to these recommendations, and then we lay out the efforts that our faculty, staff, and administration have taken to address those compliance requirements. Again, the first one was improving student learning outcomes and service area outcomes, using those outcomes in decision-making in an integrated planning process, and then ensuring that we're engaging our students in an interactive classroom experience in our online courses, similar to what they would achieve in an in-person class. I'm very proud of the work that our college has done in addressing these compliance recommendations. As we note in the report, the accreditation visit and the recommendations prompted a collegial participatory effort on the part of many people throughout the campus. I want to give special credit to Isabel Anderson, our writer. She wrote our a report back in 2024. Also credit to Laura Mahoney, who's the chair of our distance education committee, and Andrew Wesley, who heads up the assessment committee, and actually Lene Jaimes, who works in program review, all contributed significantly to this report. So again, you have it in front of you. I think the commission will look favorably on this report. It is due March 1st. They are going to read it, and a small visiting team will come out on April 9th. As they did in the initial accreditation visit, and follow up to ensure that what we say in the report is actually happening. And the goal is that if they are satisfied with this follow-up report and our efforts at continuous improvement, that we will be awarded the remainder of our accreditation cycle, which will end in 2030, and we won't have to do this again. So Isabel, again, has contributed significantly. So we open to any questions you may have.
Yes. Any questions for Isabel?
So, my question is, how did we drop the ball in these two particular instances?
Good question. Actually, I would say, and I sort of started the background for the response to say that this is not a ball that we dropped at all. In fact, this is language, this regular substantive interaction is language that we have been using at Solano College since 2013. I was on the distance education committee then. That was the spring of my first year here, and I was on the distance education committee, and I remember talking about it. So I went back and found those minutes, and we've been talking about this. The issue really is kind of twofold on that RSI, in that we weren't communicative enough. We didn't have a very set, clear-cut in writing policy. We didn't have a process for assessing whether or not faculty were applying a policy like that. And also that meant that we had to kind of take one step back and we need to provide training. And the final step then, of course, is making sure that it's happening. And there are a number of ways that it is happening that were not necessarily obvious to the visiting team. So really on that one, it feels probably more like they weren't seeing it clearly in our Canvas shells for our online classes.
They use other.
Right, because many of us are using the wonderful texting app that is connected to Canvas, which is Pronto. If you were to look into my Pronto around, they're going to give us more ways to show them that it is happening, because I think there was an understanding that this is probably happening at a lot of campuses, where if all they do is go in and look at, are you sending announcements weekly? Doesn't even clear the bar that they're looking for either. So it's a little bit of a two sides to it, where their evaluation of it meant that we needed to adjust a little bit how we are presenting the work that we are already doing. On the other hand, it's also given us this great opportunity to really create a robust training system and to really demonstrate, even for faculty too, why this is so valuable, including surveying the online students to get their feedback, which has been really useful then to turn around and be able to say to faculty, students respond really well. When you are interacting with them, they feel good about being in that class and that they matter. The assessment piece is a trickier one, because that really is related to the larger integrated planning structure. And the emphasis in in the team's report was very much on how are we using our assessments for improvement and how are we communicating that. There was a lot of emphasis on communication. And so this response here really focuses on the lines of communication for what is the expectation for completing assessments, what is the bar that we want to be holding, how can we be using those assessments to improve student outcomes the next time around, and then really keeping those lines of communication where it's not everything's rolling up to you all, it's also rolling back down, right? That there needs to be sort of, again, this integrated plan so that we're all thinking about how are students doing in individual classes, across sections of a course, within a discipline, across disciplines, disciplines that merge, disciplines that have almost nothing to do with each other, one would think, because we share all those students. And so how students are doing in my class really matters than how students are doing in a math or science. I teach English and journalism. Right, that the fact that we all have these shared students, and how do we talk more across disciplines in particular, but then also with student services, with the library, with our deans and VPs about what we are seeing in our classrooms, what they're seeing in their offices, in their spaces, and how do we work together then to improve, to lift the whole, right, the whole group. So as I was sitting here, I was thinking, what is the board's role in this? And I don't necessarily know right now, but maybe that's the next report. We'll figure out a way to, other than that, these are things that should be reported to you more frequently, probably, right? So that you hear about it too.
Thank you. Oh, Trustee Kramer, Trustee Quinton.
Sure. I was just going to say, firstly, I don't necessarily, I never find findings bad. I always find them a good time. You know, I think I'm a teacher in my day job too. We were handed, a COVID, make everything online overnight, and
Yes.
we did it, and
Yes.
and not everything was perfect. And it's okay to take a step back a couple years and go, okay, we've been doing it. Let's really evaluate if it's working, and where tweaking things in that way. And so I think it's a bravo to being able to conduct any of this business online, right? Any of education online. But it's not a bad thing to reevaluate how we're doing those and make sure students do feel like we're regular and substantive. So I just wanted to firstly do a congratulations on the work that you all do for this. In thinking about boards action, I would think some things that we can think about are like what programs are suitable for online and are not suitable for online. Where do we expand? How do we support? How do we make sure that students who are online do get a chance to feel, there's things about the college environment that are outside of the classroom that we need to make sure that they are also, part of our events and part of our, resource fairs and things. Like there's other opportunities that I think those are things that we think about too, for sure. In terms of, and of course, just staying abreast of how things are going and evaluating too, that we make sure there. I feel like I had a question there somewhere, but I think those are just two good, there was two statements I was thinking.
And you're right that the idea that students have a role, Veronica's not here tonight, but Puente student, very proud of her, repping here. But students in general, right, having more presence at board meetings, board events. Yeah. They can tell you how they're doing in their classrooms.
Thank you. Trustee Karima.
Yeah. My other question is, I understand that we have to do this on a regular basis. What I'm trying to understand is, do we do this from the start, or do we talk to other community colleges? Are we reinventing the wheel? Like, for example, when we have to deal with this, it can't be just us that are doing these. Are we talking to other community colleges? Are they sharing information with us? Are we cutting a lot of the, making the wheel from scratch?
I know that, well, in terms of the report itself, I read all the other reports from that same year that we go through. I read all of the other follow-up reports from this, well, I should say the cycle before us, right? Because those have come through and are posted. So I read all the reports from the colleges that were, had follow-up reports the cycle ahead of us to make sure that like the process that we're going through, because they like us have to describe the preparation of the report. That helps inform me what's a good way for us to go about this. Luckily, VP Williams has sat on many committees at other colleges, so he's very knowledgeable about this. I'm able to lean on him. And as far as some of the adjustments that we're making, so like the RSI policy is something that was adapted that other colleges, but so we have that opportunity to look at what other schools are doing and adapt the areas that feel right for us and what does not. I think that the administrative program review template was adapted from, so we're not trying
No,
to
we
reinvent.
created, so, when the accreditation team looks at a college, when they visit a college, and you're absolutely right, and Quentin is right, and Isabel is right, that, very good colleges throughout the state get recommendations on a regular basis. RSI particularly was a focal point for, the commission in the last couple of years, as Trustee Voice pointed out, as we emerge from the pandemic, it's a good opportunity to kind of reevaluate. Have we gotten better since the pandemic? And so, again, we're just one of the colleges that has to do a follow-up. We're fully accredited, and then this is just an opportunity for us to continue to improve. In terms of the administrative program review, we develop that in-house. The team looks to make sure that we meet the expectations of the accreditation requirements. They don't really get into necessarily how we do it. Team members are instructed when they visit, you're not looking to see if this college does it the way you do it. We're just looking to say, does what this college does meet the expectation? And so as our unique expectations and requirements, we take those into consideration as we create our processes, we create our new training programs. The administrative program review that we developed we drafted that, and it went through ALG, it went through management, it went through a number of different iterations. The guiding principles behind the creation of that template was that it was meaningful to the people creating it, and it was manageable. That it wasn't so complicated that it took a year to complete, which would, prohibit people from actually doing it. So again, we look at other colleges in a sense to get ideas, but what we really want to do is come up with a process and a procedure that meets our needs, meets the needs of our students, and on our capacity.
And most of this was in extant here already, and so it's mostly a matter of adjusting based on what faculty are saying, what students are saying, what administrators are saying, what's been working, and then looking at what they've asked of us and seeing where we can tweak and where we can adjust and what are the areas that we need to fill in some of those gaps so that we meet their ask.
Dean Williams, can you say to the people that are watching what RSI means?
I'm Vice President Williams.
I'm sorry.
It's regular and substantive interaction. It's the expectation that in online class, there is instructor-initiated contact with the student. In other words, it's not an online class where students log on, complete predetermined assignments that are automatically graded, and they don't know who the instructor is. So they're supposed to do regular interaction with the students, so there are weekly interactions, and they're supposed to do substantive interactions. They're supposed to provide feedback on student progress. They're supposed to instruct students when they need help and when they need support. So it's really two parts. It's regular and it's substantive. So in other words, if you're giving feedback on an assignment, it's not great work. Good job, right? It's meaningful and it's substantive.
So one of the problems, sorry.
Trustee Anne Marie.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, my concern is when our students leave us with the processes that we use in working with them in the classes, how successful are they when they transfer to a four-year institution? For example, when my daughter was at Solano College and got her associate degrees and transferred to UC Davis, she informed me that she was well prepared in her prerequisite courses to succeed at Davis, which she did. And there were some students who took the prerequisites at another community college, and also some of them took their courses at Davis, and they did not have success. So that told me then that Solano College was doing their job at that time, many years ago, in preparing students to move on.
I would say this about our online courses in particular. All of our students are going to be very unhappy when they get to the four-year school at what they're getting in their online courses or even in the online platforms from most of their instructors because they do not have the rigorous training that our faculty do, nor have the standards set for them, nor the checks and balances that we have. And so I've looked at, I have a son that just finished at San Francisco State. My husband's taking a class, doing a master's program at University of Missouri. It's a mess what they're doing. So no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Doing our job.
We're setting students up well.
Yeah, and this is just making us better. And again, I want to point out that we didn't initiate all of these meetings and all these improvements just to meet the accreditation requirement. We went to all this effort to create sustainable, meaningful, institutionalized processes that will continue so that we continue to get better.
Trustee Karima.
Yeah. One of the problems that I want to address is that the real problem between online and correspondence classes and the present administration, the federal administration can actually claw back money if they deem our online classes are more like correspondence classes. And they've done that to a lot of community colleges in other states. So that's really the problem with
they would have a really hard time proving that any of our courses would be anywhere near correspondence courses. Then I would say that it's been a lot, like I said, I was on the DE committee when I started in 2013, and that was something that was being looked at then, making sure that there were no canned courses, no correspondence
That's
courses.
really the RSI issue for me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. All right, thank you so much for answering our questions and comments. I also would like to say thank you for that update in response to the ACCJC's January 21st, 2025 letter. The board deeply appreciates the collective effort behind this work, and we really do. Maintaining accreditation is essential to our mission, and your commitment reflects our shared dedication to excellence. We want to thank all of those who have contributed to this report. We are confident that this response positions us not only to meet the accreditation standards, but also allows us to continue advancing in service to our students and community. So thank you so much. I thought it was a very valuable report, and I really appreciate what you've done. All right, moving on to announcements. Are there any announcements from the board?
I just have one, just as a friendly reminder that the Solano County School Board Association, we're working to do a Brown Act training in the month of May for the third Monday of the month. So please mark your calendar, trustees, LF trustees, for that, and more information to come.
Wonderful. Well, yes.
So there's a Brown Act training.
Yes, on the third Monday of May, and we'll have more information to follow. Trustee Karima.
I don't have your books that were promised, and they are coming, but apologies that they're not here.
All right, and we have the crab feed coming up on March 7th. So I hope everyone was able to get their ticket. It looks like the crab feed was doing very well. Is it sold out yet? Oh, perfect. So there still is tickets. So I hope to see you all on March 7th. There's also another crab feed for the first responders unit. I don't have the unit in front of me, but it's in Vacaville, February 28th from 5 to 10, probably midnight, knowing them. But yes, it'll be at the Sunrise Center. So I don't know if there's tickets available on that one either. So, but I just wanted to let you know there is going on. And then also, thank you so much for having us wear red tonight in solidarity as allies to support the Lunar New Year. So we're here in support for our Vice President and all of our amazing community. Moving on. You have an announcement? Oh, okay. And items from the board? Okay. Well, if we don't have any other information, who would like to make a motion to adjourn our meeting?
I move that we adjourn.
All right, so it was moved by trustee Anne Marie and seconded by trustee Rosemary Thurston. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. The meeting is adjourned at 7:52 PM. Have a good evening.
Thank you.